So I saw a article today, Hunter, talking about how the Hornets owned the All-Star weekend from the rookie and future standpoint with a MVP performance from Miles Bridges. So how do you think about the Hornets and their youth? I had the wrong mic on, didn't I?
Yeah.
How do you think about the Hornets and their youth movement coming forward?
I
Is
think
it finally
y'all-
working?
No, it's not working. It's not working. I mean, Miles went out there and did what he needed to do in a pickup game, just a pickup game basically with no defense done. I would hope he would have a good game in a game that's not played with little to no defense. Do they have a lot going forward for them? The only bright spot that they have really is Devontae Graham. They have their point guard of the future as long as he can play consistent. Go ahead and continue to average around 17 and 7 or 8 assists. That's good for him, especially this being his first true season in the NBA. I know he did a stint in the G League, so that's the bright side for him. If Miles Bridges can't develop a consistent 3-point shot, eventually he'll just be a guy that fills the paint, and that's about it in a 3-point shooting league. P.J. Washington is a little bit more of a consistent 3 shooter than Miles Bridges, but what I've seen every time I go and watch him play, it's not by a lot. Essentially what I said was they drafted Miles Bridges the year before they drafted P.J. Washington, and they picked the same guy. They've just picked the same guy. Both of them are about 6'8", 6'9" for their respective position. One can play the 3, one can play the 4. So to me, that doesn't mean anything. When they start affecting them winning games, like coming out and playing great and then winning a lot of games, then the youth movement will have worked. Because that was the deal that everybody used to say with the 76ers and trust the process. Eventually, the process started to play out because you started to win. But up until then, people were wondering if the process was even working. So if it's not translating to regular season wins, taking you to the playoffs and winning playoff games, then no, I can't say that that they won. Now I'll agree with that statement. They might have won the weekend for the Rising Stars.
Right.
Oh, big whoop. Big whoop.
Does that mean we're going to see these 3 in the All-Star game in a few years? Is that what that's what it's supposed to mean?
if Charlotte's good at producing any sort of All-Star in recent memory, it would be Devontae Graham, because he'll be like the only guy that can score for the team in the East. That would be it. That would be it. No, this is whoever wrote this article is reaching hard.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really reaching. You still got the 6th worst record in the NBA.
It's somewhere
Can only go down from there because you really have no veteran leadership, and even your veteran players aren't worth paying to begin with. So I could just sit here and rip them the whole time if I really wanted to, but just off that statement, no. Until it starts translating into them making playoffs consistently, no, it doesn't work.
Well, since you brought that up, Zach, he just said that the strategy as far as the tanking, I think it obviously worked for Philadelphia, and it should have been working. We talk about this the whole time for Charlotte all these years. They've missed on all these draft picks. They haven't won a playoff series since 2001.
Even the Markelle Fultz pick, everybody, thought that it crapped out for the 76ers. He's playing great for the Magic.
Yep.
It just maybe came down to wrong place for him to work. So even that pick turned out to be good. So, yeah, the 76ers just have been able to hit on draft picks.
The first Hornets won 4 playoff series. The Hornets have never gotten out of the second round, which means them and the Clippers, and I think there's one other team that's never gotten to a conference finals. So the Clippers looking to win a championship. They've still never even got to a conference final, and the Hornets haven't as well. Looking back on they won in 93, they won in 98, 2001, and 2002. And then what was bad about it, Zach, those 2 teams that made the playoffs, that then they didn't have a team the next 2 years.
Right.